Hello and welcome back to a new review for Mahoutsukai no Yome, episode number 15. Damn! I know it's a two-core show, and just seeing the episode that we are already at episode 15, it really makes me sad because the ending is coming closer and closer and closer, and I hope we will get a second season. But yes, this episode we had basically two parts. The first was Chise's recovery, and the second one was, well, Silky's backstory. Oh boy, yes. It was seriously one of the backstories with the fewest words spoken, but the way it was portrayed, it was beautiful. It was as strong on an emotional level as any other backstory we had so far as well, and yeah, I really love how they did this with Silky's backstory, that we didn't get a lot of words, but just seeing her wandering around and then finding a home is simply amazing. It was seriously very well done. It was so good. I just love this show for doing this. And with Chise's recovery, they were heading to the land of the fairies, and Iliad was asked why he's not staying there with Chise, because she clearly belongs to that side, or she leans more to this side. And he's like, yeah, no, I want her to live as a human. And why did he say this? Because we saw that if a human gets into the land of the fairies for an extended amount of time, they will become something not human anymore. Just like Shannon, the doctor who was taking care of Chise. And she was a fae, and she got swapped with a human kid, so she was raised in the human world, and she was also working in a hospital. But then the kid she was swapped with grew up in the fairy world and became, well, something not human anymore. And they married. So yeah, that's kind of the fun of it. And the thing is, with Shannon, she said that the people, they were kind of afraid of her. She was creeping them out because, as a fairy, she was just aging very, very slowly, and this was, well, creeping people out. And so then Shannon, was what the name was of her husband, came to get her. They went back to the fairy world, and then they were living there happily. And she's there taking care of the fairies, or sick or an age. That happens to them as well. And then she also took care of Chise. And when they were in the lake and to heal her wounds, she did something crazy. She was trying to drown Chise because her wounds wouldn't heal. They were just bleeding in the water, and because Chise had not really shown the signs of the will to live. But when she was drowning, she was pushed into the water. She saw her mother, and then she heard Elia's voice, and then she got up, and this made Shannon very happy, and it was basically her way to get her will to live kick in, and it worked. It's really nice. But as much as I like this part, like I've already said, Shiniki's backstory, this was my highlight of this episode. So, apparently she's a banshee, and she was sitting there all messed up, torn clothes, haggard, skinny appearance, and she was sitting there on some wood and in the ruins of a house, and then came two vampires along. They asked her something, why, or that it is time for her to move on. So she started walking and walking and walking, and there she was in front of a town. And then the brigand we already know approached her. Why a banshee is there? And then she collapsed, so he took her along, brought her to the house Elias is now living in, and at this time it wasn't Elias. It was a different family. And then the brigand gave her the clothes and the name she has now. So that's really, really lovely, and it all came to be because she was in the house, she was doing the normal house chores, keeping it tidy, and she was waiting and waiting and waiting for Elias and Chise to come home. Why? Because, well, Elias said that they will be gone for a while, and the time flows differently in the fairy world as in the human world. But by the time they came back, it was already winter. So Silky was waiting and waiting and waiting, and she was thinking about those old days. The memories came back, and she even put 3 little bells on the door, so when someone opens the door, she hears it. And then she was waiting and waiting and waiting, and thinking, and when she was then doing the dishes, or washing the dishes, the door opened and Elias and Chise were back, and then she was running towards Chise and jumping literally into her arms, and seeing Silky, who isn't talking, but she always is there, and she really has strong emotions, as we saw in this episode. So seeing her so happy when Chise and Elias returned, it was so lovely, and goddammit, it was pure gold. I just loved it. But yeah, overall, as always, this episode is really, really strong on delivering the emotional things. In this case, especially loneliness, even though loneliness is always a part of it, but in this time, it was on Silky's side. So yeah, I really, really like what they are doing, and I'm really hoping that we will get a second season after this one. So yeah, I think that's it for now. So as always, thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you guys next time as well. See ya!